Hey, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the Nfgeeks.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, what are we going to talk about? Our favorite thing in the whole world?
SJs.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Certainly because they love us so much. There's a whole SJ fan club out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. We're seriously just going to talk about ourselves and how much we love ourselves. Our egos are like this big.
That's right, because we're completely self-absorbed. So, actually, this is a good segue, because as you know, Dave, there was a thread about us on Personality Cafe, and you showed it to me, and that was great to see. And so I feel we should comment on the thread, and maybe, hopefully, this will actually be posted on it, and people will get to see it on the thread. So first of all, what was your impression of the thread, or what people said, or anything? What were your first impressions?
I was just excited that we're getting to the point of popularity where people are just talking about us without one of us initiating the conversation, So I was kind of honored,
Oh, good.
by it. And everything they pretty much said was positive, good stuff.
Sure.
So I wasn't. I was happy.
Oh, good.
I was thrilled.
Yes, you were. You were thrilled when you told me. So there were some things I think on it that are worth discussing and sort of commenting on. And not that this was directly said, but I think just to reiterate a couple of things about Nfgeeks. And one, the most important one, is there is absolutely, positively no objectivity whatsoever occurring on Nfgeeks. None. On the objective meter, we are at 0. Okay, this is a completely subjective experience. Completely. There is no attempt at objectivity here. We're not even trying. Really, the way I view Nfgeeks as a really more of just simply an expression and a reflection of what it's like to be an NF for us. That's really what it is.
Represent.
That's right. It's a celebration of NF. And really, I'm trying to reach out to the other NFs mostly, but certainly I want the other types to hear about, the other temperaments and other types to hear about us as well. But there's nothing objective here at all. Do not expect objectivity.
Please.
Don't. Yeah, really. That's a mistake. Okay, that's they go to Nfgeeks. For that, I don't know if that exists. It will soon, though, I suppose. But go see Nfgeeks, and there you might find some objectivity, some rational thought that is absent from the Nfgeeks channel.
Well, with the exception for SPs on that channel. if we're going by what at the NTs we know.
Yeah, that's a great thing I want to bring up. Is that granted we've given SJs a hard time, and maybe SPs. I don't know if I haven't felt we have given them a hard time, but you should, we're just whining because we're crybabies because our feelings are hurt. But you should hear the way the NTs talk about you. Oh my God! Okay, I mean we have NTs who are applauding the SP final solution. All right, scary stuff. Scary stuff. I mean, we're just being crybabies. They're drawing up plans. Okay, yeah, really. That it's not to out the NTs or that all NTs think that. We're not saying that, but I've heard NTs say worse things than what we're saying. We're just being crybabies. Well, nobody's listening to our feelings. That's all we're doing.
And we try to be nice about it at least.
Yeah, I suppose. We're trying. In that thread, I noticed our good friend Aelthwin came to our rescue. That's right. Riding on her unicorn. Coming in. Maybe Aelthwin someday we will meet. In your favorite place, Hyrule. Yeah, you'd love it, Hyrule. Hyrule. That's right. That's where we'll meet Aelthwin in Hyrule, at Hyrule Castle.
It's like an 80s metal song.
Yeah, certainly. So, is there anything else in particular about the thread? We have a superiority complex, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's what's complex about it. We're superior.
It's pretty simple to me.
Yeah, what's so complex about that?
It's pretty, simple superiority. You need to tweak it a little bit.
That's right. No, all right, but to comment more seriously, we really don't feel that we're superior. We do feel that all the temperaments and all the types have their place, and all the temperaments and all the types are representing some important aspect, archetypally even, of human consciousness. We're just trying to celebrate the NF experience. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Dance party.
Yeah, that's right. It's an NF dance party
Nice.
for the most part. And ideally, I'd like to have. It would really great if we could get our friend Dan, an ENFJ, who's an ENFJ, and an INFP all at the same time, and we would have the entire NF spectrum.
It'll be the NF Council.
That's right, the NF Council.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Jedi robes.
any other thoughts about the thread?
Oh, I was pretty honored by it. So,
Oh, good.
You know, it's pretty nice. I hope to see more threads dedicated to us.
Yeah, and in addition, if there's comments or questions, the things you want us to comment on directly, feel free to let us know. We're always looking for topics and things to talk about regarding the Myers-Briggs and the temperaments. So certainly we will respond. That's for sure. All right. There was another important question that I wanted to comment on, and it came from. Let me see. I'm looking for the name on your computer. I can't see the
House
name.
by the Lake.
The House by the Lake. That's right. Good. And the question was, how attuned are you to your emotional stability and peace of mind? Okay, and she continues on to say, I find that NFs tend to be very aware of how they feel at any given moment and often even naturally know what they need to do to improve their peace of mind. So she wants us to elaborate on this, okay? All right, Dave, do you want to, you have one thing I'll say about Dave, and I was actually saying this to him a couple of days ago, and even yesterday, I think. Dave has a very calm center. And things, even though he sometimes gets annoyed and shoots his laser beam of hate at various people. For the most part, he's actually very calm and has a very calm center. So, starting with your calm center, or the concept of the calm center, how do you feel you could answer this? Let's start with your INFJ. So, your emotional stability and peace of mind.
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty emotionally stable, and I'm calm most of the time. However, when that shifts, when I do become upset, I usually know what causes it, like right away, intuitively mostly. And usually for me, it's either like I leave the situation for a little bit and cool down, try to retain the calm center, or just wait until like it passes, or I'll just or in situations where I can't necessarily leave or get up or anything like that, I'll try just to, I don't know, focus on my breathing mostly. A very meditative process, and that usually works out pretty well. Sometimes, it doesn't, like, if I'm talking about, like, things I'm passionate about, and someone is kind of harshly disagreeing with me, then I will, let out the shadow from the cage and just have it just destroy them with my laser beam. But for the most part, I'm pretty cool-headed, I'd say.
What do you find usually throws off your emotional stability and peace of mind? And are you conscious of it when that's happening? Or what? How are you conscious of it when it's happening? So first, what are some common themes of things that knock you off the track?
That's a good question. Just I don't know. Usually, like pet peeves of mine, if someone is rude to me, interrupts, or if someone is just cocky in the way that they think they're better than me in a conversation, like they know more than me, or they just down my opinion type of thing. That's usually when I lose my calm center. Or if someone's just like a complete, not nice to somebody else, then, I feel like I should defend that person, or even just try to defend myself, and that's usually when I lose it. During the time, I'm not necessarily conscious of the fact that I'm losing my cool.
Really, that's interesting. How long is the delay? When does it when does it come into consciousness, or how does it come into consciousness?
Most of the time it's like right in the middle.
Okay.
You know, it's like I'll be talking to this person, and in my mind, I'll be like, okay, I'm definitely lost my cool, you know, so I'll try to like retreat, you know, ever so slightly, like still trying to voice my opinion, but become more and more calm as it progresses, you know, or I'll just like suddenly just, you know, say what I have to say and then stop and then just go back. Um, but then sometimes I'm not even conscious of it, and then I'll just leave and then think back, wow, I really just lost control, you know. So it's surprising sometimes, but that's usually how it works for me. You know, I should be more mindful. But yeah, so what about you? How would you say you?
I would say that one way that I'm attuned to my emotional stability or instability, depending on your point of view, is that I'm very self-aware of my emotional reactions and very self-aware of what my emotional reactions will be. So I am always able to anticipate with a pretty high degree of accuracy how I'm going to emotionally react to something. That doesn't necessarily keep me, and that knowledge doesn't actually change my emotional reaction either. Like, I'll know, like, if this happens, I'm going to be angry. If that happens, I'm going to be sad. If this happens in this way, I'll be angry and sad. And sure enough, that's exactly the way it comes out. You know, so being able to know about it ahead of time doesn't actually change it. And that doesn't mean that this is necessarily a rational process either. Right. You know, obviously we're in it, you know. But it relates to emotional stability in the sense that I'm very rarely surprised by my own emotional reactions to things, you know, so I can at least change the external world. I may not be able to exchange my emotional reaction, but I can have an influence of what's going on around me, because I know that if something goes this way, I'm going to feel this other way, and, you know, whatever. So, and usually my emotional reactions, my prediction of my own emotional reactions is really 95% correct. Every now and then I have an emotional reaction that I did not expect, where I feel something that I thought when something happened I would feel one way and I ended up feeling another. That does happen, but very rarely, really, like 9 out of 10 times, easily 9 out of 10 times, or even more than that. If you give me a scenario and I say, this is how I would feel if that happened, if it actually happens, I do feel that way. Mm. And that leads to my emotional stability, because then I can sort of anticipate the environment a little more. As far as peace of mind goes, it's kind of hard to answer that question, because really I haven't been in a state of peace of mind for some time now. Because as Dave knows, and because I haven't talked about this enough with Dave, I'm going through a midlife crisis of intergalactic proportions. My entire life sort of derailed about going on 2 years ago, and I haven't been the same since then, you know, really. And I've had all sorts of changes, and many of them have been good, even as of late. You know, all sorts of happy things have happened. But I'm definitely been in a midlife crisis since 2009, easily. And so it's kind of a weird question for me, because when I first read it, I read, how attuned are you to your peace of mind? I was like, well, I'm more attuned into my lack of a peace of mind, because I haven't had it. You know, but that still answers the question, I think. I've been very conscious that I've been going through a midlife crisis for the past 2 years.
It seems that you're more conscious of how you'll feel in a situation, but I'm more conscious of my peace of mind and calm center.
Mm. Yeah. Will be disrupted, you mean?
Yeah, because I don't know how I'll act in a situation, but I know when my calm center is been derailed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Stuff like that. Like, I have no idea how I'll react in a situation for the most part. I mean, usually I'll just answer, oh, I'll be calm and stuff like that. But, you know, maybe on the outside I'll be calm. At least I think that. But on the inside I'm kind of like grinding my teeth a bit. So it's, yeah, it's interesting. Because I can never tell.
Wow.
But you seem to be the opposite.
Yes, I can always anticipate my emotional responses. But not always, but right, my peace of mind has been off has definitely been off for 2 years. Maybe a year and a half. Going on 2 years.
Well, even before then, did you used to? Were you able to tell when you had a peace of mind?
No, I actually, honestly, I've had peace of mind for a long time. It just got worse 2 years ago. So, and with that, Dave, we're done.
Are we? All right. Well, I'm Dave. This is Mike.
That's right. We're Nfgeeks.
Take it easy.